Cold marketing is dead, and I'm going to show you what to do about it. Why should you listen to me? First, because I've worked with over 80 clients on X and LinkedIn, creating content and sending DMs, so that my clients have been able to generate over $10 million in revenue. That is attributed to my agency. And second, I am my own best case study. If you go look at my LinkedIn, right now I am generating over 20 calls per month with people that are already warm. They're interested in what I have to say and what I'm doing. They're familiar with my offer, and it's amazing. So that's why you should listen to me. Now, let me explain why cold marketing is dead and what's working in 2025 in these next 5 slides. So first, you can see here, this ads is what I have right here. This is the old way. People, you look back at Google display ads, early 2000s. You could pay exactly 0 cents and get a million clicks to your site. People leverage the heck out of that. You look at Facebook, 2011, 2012, people were getting amazing customer acquisition costs. You just put an ad out, it would work, you'd get people, and it wasn't very expensive. There wasn't a lot of competition. Even call it 2016, 2017, like things were it was the heyday for ecom. But what's happened since iOS, all of the privacy stuff that's happened in the US, in Europe, which is pretty insane. People have been scammed. They don't just trust random strangers on the internet anymore. And they require a little bit more proof that they're going to get stuff. Like you look at Amazon, they basically invented having reviews for e-commerce products where you could, if there's 10,000 five-star reviews, there's a high likelihood you're going to get what you want. There's a reason that works, and it's because people have been screwed enough times that they want to make sure that they get what they're paying for. And so the old way, just making asks with cold outbound, just making asks with ads, it just doesn't work anymore, at least not to the same extent. But if you're able to combine something like content where you're giving away a lot of value, so people receive something from you first, and then they're much more willing to reciprocate. It's the law of reciprocity. And so if you give something valuable, education, then you ask via retargeting ads, via warm outreach, even via cold outreach, you're going to have a much, much better success rate. You give more than you ask, you grow your brand, and you get better results. I heard Alex Hormozy talking about this recently. He said that 5 years ago, he started to feel like this wasn't working anymore, the old way. And so that's why he went all in with his brand and now has got 10 million followers across channels and basically infinite demand. When you post content, you're not just posting another piece of content. You're not just on this content treadmill that's, exhausting and like it feels like you have to keep up with it. What you're doing is you're building another relationship. When you have that reframe, it helps you stick with it. You're building relationships with real people, and that is why it's easy to continue to create content because you are at scale nurturing old relationships, building new relationships, getting in front of new eyeballs, and introducing yourself in a value oriented way. It's amazing. Content is leverage. Whether you send it to one person or whether you send it to 100 people or 1,000 people, it takes the same amount of effort. And so this person is your ideal target audience. So think of the perfect person. Maybe it's one of your clients who's just the perfect client. I have somebody in mind. If I just write to that person, then I'm going to get a whole lot of people just like them that start to build relationships with me. Some of these people will reach out directly, and some of them won't. Most people aren't proactive. To the people who don't, guess what? I will send them a DM, and the likelihood that they respond is way higher because they've already been consuming my content and have built some trust, and I've delivered some value to them. And so when you post content, you're building relationships and you're doing it at scale for the same effort. The cost is the same as if you were just having a one-on-one conversation at a coffee shop. Content is a multiplier. If you post content, your paid ads will convert better. You'll have lower customer acquisition costs. If you post content regularly, then your cold email will be more effective. You'll have higher reply rates and higher close rates. If you post content, you will be able to have more inbound partnerships come your way, and any outbound partnership attempts that you make will have a higher conversion rate. If you post content, your existing leads will convert at a higher rate because they will trust you more. If you post content, your clients will continue to consume your content. And so they will stay longer as clients because they're more bought into your ideas and your systems. And if you post content, you will get more referrals because one of your clients, John, thinks, oh, you know who could use that? Mary could use that. I should send that over to her because that piece of content is super relevant to what we were talking about since she's an industry peer and we talk all the time. So content multiplies everything. Not to mention, it becomes its own marketing channel in and of itself, but it just multiplies the rest of them too. Here is an example of content plus outreach. So you can see here, this is a screenshot of my booked calls, my book calls for Tribe Digital, my agency, in the month of July. So you see 7/1 to 7/29. Today is 7/30 when I'm making this. You have the revenue levels here. Some are a little smaller than I normally work with, the 0 to 30. Got a fair amount of the 30 to 70, 150 to 500, 500K plus per month that these companies are doing. And so some of these 0 to 30, I'll pitch on the lower services, and some of them just aren't qualified. And then this is their lifetime value. So if they sell a client, how much it's worth to them. So this is when they book the calls. And then over here, you have the sources. So I don't have this separated right now between LinkedIn content and LinkedIn outreach. But if I did, you'd see about 40% of it comes from content and about 60% of it comes from outreach. Because like I said, most people aren't proactive and they don't reach out. And so if you reach out, then they're much more likely to respond. And this is just proof that it works. And so this is like, just to give you a clear example, this is a message I sent. I said, appreciate the engagement on my posts. This person left a comment on one of my posts. And then I just said, how's LinkedIn been for you as a fractional CFO? And look at his response. My pleasure. You share pure gold. This person has been consuming my content. We had a conversation, jump on a sales call, and ended up TBD if we're working together. This one hasn't quite gone through yet, but this is the power of content plus outreach. Is people already know you, the likelihood they convert goes way, way up. And so that's what it looks like. And if you are currently doing paid ads or you're currently doing cold outreach without content, just start. And if you're just doing content, then I would highly encourage you to mix in a little bit of warm outreach or paid ads, retargeting ads with that content to make it that much more effective and actually drive business. That's the way that marketing works right now in 2025. I think it's only going more this way. This is a tailwind in 2026, 2027. It's going to be even more like this. So hope that's helpful. Drop a comment if you have questions or something that you want to discuss, and I'll see you around.